From the Ugly Parrot Studios in Newcastle, California, the Lim Cigar Cartel presents Beyond the Humidor, a cigar podcast for the rest of us. Hey, welcome back. As always, Scott Robinson with you for another edition of Beyond the Humidor. Larry and Greg are with me, as well as the Gorilla, who's been on a roll tonight. How's it going, Gorilla?
It is going good.
Nice. Lawrence, how you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good. How about you, Gregory?
I woke up this morning, so not bad.
I lost that bet.
Well, 50-50 split today.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But what's new and exciting, everybody?
Well, Larry and I over the weekend went over to a crab feed for Sacramento Crime Stoppers. We tried our hands at a couple of raffles, and
Donated heavily is what we did.
Yeah, we kind of did. You got one of the most expensive handles.
Yeah, that it's a good thing I like billet whiskey because that
Bullet?
Billet. Did I say billet? I did, didn't I?
You did say billet.
Yeah, bullet. Yeah, because that was an expensive bottle, but it was for a good cause.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah.
What was the chosen charity this time?
It's Crime Stoppers.
Yeah.
So, Sacramento
You probably
County.
said that.
We did.
I did.
So mom was telling me the money they raise goes into the fund. They used to say like $10,000 for information regarding.
Yeah, no,
this.
that's 100% of that
Yep.
goes. There's no paid people.
All
At the crime
volunteers.
site. It's all volunteers, so all the money they raise goes into that. And yeah, they did pretty well.
Yeah.
They were rolling.
Oh,
some
yeah.
money, and it was a great event. As far as crab feeds go, it was super well organized. I'll be honest with you. When we got there and I saw there was that many people, that many tables, I'm like, oh shit.
So Gorilla has a small side tangent about this crab feed.
Do tell. Do ask or inquire.
I come out from this was on Saturday. I took a short nap, came out. My dad's all dressed and ready to go. My mom's getting ready. She's microwaving something. I'm like, what the? You guys are about to go eat dinner. What the hell are you microwaving? Mom, what are you doing? Oh, I'm making hot towels. Okay, why? Oh, your dad and I are going to the crab feed. Do they not provide their own? She looks at me dead serious because we can't risk that. And this is one of those ones where I'm like, my mom's goofy and I love her to death, but she's goofy and weird sometimes, and my dad's cranky and frustrated. How do they ever get along? And then you proceed to tell me they did some bullshit last time where they brought out a bunch of salad and pasta before they got to the crab. I'm just going to sit there and go, I'm here for the crab.
That's standard fare for all crab feeds.
Yeah.
And wait a minute. You do know your mother listens to this show, right?
I know, and I love her, and that's why I'm highlighting her genius, because not only was she bringing her own hot towels with warming pack to keep them warm, she's bringing her own butter warmer, crab breaking and entering utensils, and the Tupperware that all those things were in to potentially return with excess crab. It blew my mind. The only thing y'all didn't have were bibs, and now that I said that, she's going to for sure have bibs by next year.
They provided bibs for this one, a little plastic with a little cartoon crab on them. It was kind of funny.
I was astounded, and then I'm like, this is why they are together. This is how they match. He likes crab. She brings the preparation.
Your mother is a genius because at
is.
the end of crab feeding and eating and just devouring crab, with sticky hands, she opened up that Tupperware, and I looked at her like, oh, you are doing God's work.
It's genius bordering on insanity.
That's okay. We brought lemon.
Yeah, it's way past the border of insanity.
Yeah, we brought lemon and 3-4 bottles of wine.
Yeah,
You brought your own.
no, they brought their own one. They're going to a law enforcement crab feed and didn't think there would be a bar. Sir, not only was there a bar, it was a free bar.
You had the tip, of course, so it's not
Well, yeah, but goddamn, you're not paying $4 a beer or $5 a glass of wine. They're handing that shit. Hey, we are 40 minutes into this gig, on a 4-hour gig, and they stopped the entire thing so that Topo Padilla, the bail bonds guy, could announce over the loudspeaker that they were sending somebody to Costco or Sam's Club next door for 40 cases more beer.
my man.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But man, the other handing that shit out like free candy out of a Chevy van.
Apparently guns too.
Yes. Oh, I was just about to say, you do know my wife, don't you? You know she's not just drinking any wine.
No, Jesus Christ.
We know about you bougie people.
Yeah.
Love you, Sue.
Next time I'm bringing Boone's Farm strawberry, and by the third glass, I'm going to swap out the bottles on the table, see who notices.
You ain't shit unless you bring gin and Sacco.
Yeah, well, I don't want to mix it. You can't get that smell. You'd be better off having a cat die under your house than pouring gin and Sacco together. That stuff's terrible.
Yeah, but back in the day.
Yeah, well, you did what you had
thinking.
to.
Is that one of those where it's cheap?
Yeah.
Yeah, cheap gin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, so.
Gildan's plastic bottle.
Oh. That's awful. As I'm sitting there choking that down back in my late teens going, I'm going to get a good job so I could actually buy real alcohol.
How'd that work out for you?
Pretty well.
Seems to
You
be
see
doing
my
all right.
fucking bar?
Yeah, we got plantation rum sitting on the table, so it seems to be doing well so far.
Aha.
But no, as a charity fundraiser thing goes, that was a pretty good time, man. We had a lot of fun, a lot of people. Yeah, if you want to win a gun, go to a law enforcement crab feed. Because they were raffling them damn things off right and left. It was something else.
You did the numbers before the show on one of the raffles. They had 50 guns on the table. The raffle worked like this. Every 60 tickets that they sold at $20 a pop, they do a raffle for those 60 tickets.
Regardless
So
of how much time. If one guy came up and bought all 60 tickets, they raffled the gun.
Yeah.
And, or two guys bought the 60 tickets. So literally, in the time I was in line to buy my tickets, they did 2 gun raffles because they went through 120 tickets before I got up to the table to give them my money. So, so you got a choice of 50 guns. So if they do that, $20 times 60 tickets is $1,200 times 50 is $60,000.
Yeah.
That they could potentially raise if they sold out, did all 50 of those gun raffles.
That's just the one raffle.
That's just
that one raffle.
And then they had another raffle where you bought a challenge coin that the gorilla now possesses because he's a challenge coin guy, and that was a 1 in 25 chance at a 223 rifle. And then there was another one where you bought a travel coffee mug, and that had a ticket in it that was a 1 in 25 chance that you got to pick from 3 different handguns. Then they had another raffle, live auction for a 9/11, right? Or was that a?
It was, there was the dessert auction, which was a live auction.
Well, but the gun. What was the gun
auction.
you won?
Oh, that was a live auction. I got a Glock 19.
Oh, Glock 19. Okay, yeah. And then they did they auctioned 6 bottles, like handle-sized bottles of alcohol, and the winners of those 6 bottles had a raffle ticket on those bottles numbered 1 through 6.
Yep.
And you had a 1 in 6 chance to win a gun safe, full standing gun safe with 2 guns. There was a SIG handgun in that, and also a riot shotgun.
It was a bullpup shotgun.
Yeah,
valued probably about $700.
So I mean, it was a great event. We had
Yeah.
a ton of fun. I look forward to doing that one again next.
Yeah,
year.
I will definitely do that again.
I'll probably join you guys next year on that one.
I was rooting for you for the 1 in 6. It's like, come on, 1 in 6,
I missed it by
man.
1. I had tag number 4, and they drew 3. So, but like I said, it
was for a good cause.
We had a great time.
Yeah, we did.
We've that's the third one that we've been to this year. 2 crabs and a shrimp one, and I think I honestly don't know if I could do another one for a little while. I know we get out of crab feed season; it only goes for so long. But, between pounding down 72 shrimp at the one before this, and then I think what they bring out, they brought out 7 trays of crab to our table.
Oh yeah,
or 8, and we're talking the
little short foil trays.
Lots of crab.
It was described to me in too much detail how much crab you ate.
I beg your pardon?
Well, hell, at the shrimp feed, he pounded down 70 shrimp.
Well, yeah,
It
I
was-
wouldn't
it was-
know about the shrimp feed. I wasn't
I
invited.
was told it was
here
cracking
we
one with one hand while reaching for the other with the other hand.
Dude, I am 290 pounds. I can eat.
I didn't question that at all.
Speaking of guns,
Who hired this kid?
you did. Speaking of guns, the state of California, just for grins, I'm just going to mention this, got some good news. All the other 49 states probably think that we are another planet because when I went to Florida, people looked at me like I was nuts. My favorite one was, what do you mean you need a background check to buy ammunition? Yeah. Well, anyway, we have this idiotic gun roster. Thank you, Camilla Harris. Basically, I think the guns on the roster are about 10 years old. They're like older model Glocks and such. And if that gun's not on the roster, you can't buy it in California. It's a joy. So like the Gen 5 Glocks, I know, combat Tupperware.
Did I say anything?
I know you were going to say something. I just know it.
I
Anyway.
want a Gen 5. Thank you very much.
Really? You're going to come over to the Glock side?
Well, I've been told with the Gen 5, I thought we were a cigar podcast, but nonetheless,
We are,
I've been
but-
told the Gen 5, I can change the grip to suit what I like.
Okay.
So I want to see this. I'll be in the Free State in a week or two. I'll have to look at one.
Okay. Well, apparently the judge struck down that roster is unconstitutional. The state has 14 days. I think we're in the day 8 of it, so that the state can contest it, the injunction.
They'll file at the very last minute.
Yeah, I'm hoping they don't because they've got enough fish to fry. So we'll see what happens. We may get like a tiny bit freer out here in the Golden State. So since we are a cigar podcast,
Shots fired. Go ahead, Mary Ellen. What are you smoking?
I don't give two shits what I'm smoking.
All right, Gorilla. What do you got?
wow, man.
I was graciously given a Superfly by Oscar, but during setup I did not have time to pull notes on it. So I will pull the hosts for notes about this cigar. But I am enjoying it.
We'll come back to that because we got to look it up.
Oh no!
Hang on, I'll look it up while you're doing that.
Yeah, that's if you guys have listened to this podcast at all, you know I smoke quite a few Oscars. There isn't really anything in that line that I don't enjoy. There's a couple, that I like better than others, but I haven't put anything down in the ashtray and no, that's not my wheelhouse from Oscar. So I provided that to the Gorilla
I'd
today.
say Rocky and Oscar are my two companies that I know 99.9% of the time, anything I grab with their logos on it, I will smoke.
Yeah,
And-
then
and not
you're
have
gonna
any
end up
issue
you're
with
gonna end up with a decent cigar.
No doubt.
But no, this is not my first Superfly. I've had them before. I was told beforehand that this is what I was going to be smoking, so I made sure to eat because it is a little darker, and I didn't want.
That's not his first Superfly because my Humidor doesn't have a lock on it. But
I have not stolen a Superfly from you because you normally don't have them in quantities where I can take one without you noticing.
yeah,
It's not just pretty fly, it's super fly. So says the website. It's it is a San Andreas wrapper, Honduran origin. Without getting into too much detail and getting into research, it's just a great stick and one that people should check out.
yeah. If you haven't smoked one, you definitely need to.
Okay, I was pretty sure it was San Andreas wrapper, but I didn't want to say that and be wrong on the internet because you know how that goes.
Oh, yeah. People are vicious.
How about y'all?
I'm smoking a Padron Damaso, one of the ones I picked up in Florida because they're a little less expensive when you leave the
Probably
state.
considerably less.
Just shy of 20, which is not bad.
No, $5
that's
less. Yeah,
5 less?
5 less or 10 less.
That's
15.
10. Yeah, I'm thinking 10,
10?
less.
No, because I think they're 24 here. They're about 24, 26 here. So,
Okay.
but it's a significant enough discount. I grabbed a handful of them when I was over at Island Girl over in Fleming Island. So I grabbed a few of those, and this is a Connecticut seed wrapper. Wrap within it is some Nicaraguan long filler. So, me and Nicaraguan, great smoke, very elegant, very smooth. Doing kind of a live taste just to enjoy it. What's the best way to describe this? It's not quite creamy, but it's Nicaraguan leaf is kind of a one-trick pony, but it's just nice. It's just something that you can relax and chill out with.
You're going to get a consistent flavor throughout that.
Exactly.
Yep.
Most definitely. And Greg, let's get back to you.
So you've talked about this cigar on the show already. Though I found it in a Lancero, so I wanted to give it a try to see what the perspective is like, because that's my favorite size. It is the Trinidad Espiritu Series number 2 in Lancero, 40 by 7.5. It's a Brazilian spirit crafted with tobaccos grown in Nicaragua and Brazil, blended by A.J. Fernandez and another fellow who I can't pronounce his name. But, it's the initial light. I'm about an inch into the cigar right now. I was thinking more pepper, more spice, and it's there, but not given the look of the cigar. And here's my nice face for Gorilla to get a close-up on at some point. It's a darker wrapper. So I'm in the mentality that most cigar smokers are of, darker wrapper, lots of power. And it's just not the case. It has some spice, some pepper, some cinnamon notes to it, but it doesn't have a lot of power. So it's nice to do on a, frankly, semi-empty stomach. So, it's a good blend. So far, I'm liking it a lot.
Right on. If you guys noticed when Greg held up his Lancero, he's growing big boy hair on his face. Look at that.
Well, we're going to try.
He's going to give it a try. I'm looking forward to seeing the result. I am.
That makes
we'll
one
see.
of us. All right.
Well, what's Larry's quote about facial hair?
Hey, when you got a face like that, you got to cover some of it up.
I'm stealing that one, Larry, because it's true.
Ain't it the truth?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Note that was said by the person with the biggest beard at the table.
You're just jealous there, Patchwork.
Hey,
Ooh.
I won't deny it. This is as good as this is getting.
Yeah, mine's the same way.
Yeah, it's time for me to knock this down.
Oh, I kind of like the whole salt and pepper.
Oh, no, this is fine. I'll knock this down a little bit, but I need to get this smooth.
Oh, yeah.
I need to get that smooth and shiny.
Okay,
I think it was the last episode when I bit my head down. There was kind of a glare there. I like that glare.
There's a glare there most of the time, and the only reason I can say that is because I have the same problem.
But see, I purposely do the glare. Once you shave, a little baby oil, get a little towel, and just.
Hey, Larry, was that more information than you wanted to know?
Yeah, I think I threw up my mouth a little bit.
I'm not talking about fucking manscaping. Jeez. I'm talking about the top of my head.
You be the judge, audience.
Hey, Dad, what are you smoking?
And once again, the gorilla to the rescue. I have the Hemingway Classic by Arturo Fuente. The binder and long filler Dominican with a Cameroon wrapper. This is one of the mainstays of the Arturo Fuente line, the Hemingways. You guys have heard us talk before about their short story, which is the same blend. Now, we had a little bit of discussion before we started recording on the Figurado, and maybe some of you guys can help us out. This cigar was definitely Figurado shaped, but I was under the impression that Figurado was only used for the shorter cigars, like the short story, and then the new one that we've been smoking from Christoph. But this was definitely a Figurado shape. Interesting. It's a medium cigar, right? They say mild to medium, but it's a solid medium cigar. Because of the Cameroon wrapper, it's pretty full flavored, woodsy to cedar. As you get going on it, as you get towards the end, it's a little creamier, a little bit darker, but you're not hitting the face. There's not a lot of power. It's more of an espresso, just it's a good all-around smoke. Interesting thing, I have quite a few of these that I rotate through once in a while, and I had a box that had 2 left in it, and then I had a full box that I'd opened, but I hadn't pulled anything out of it. They're the same box, same labeling. One of them says that they're a 7x48. The other box says it's a 6x47, and they look like the same cigar to me. So I thought that was kind of funny. But so they're in the 6 to 7, inch range, and roughly about a 48 ring gauge. It's a good even smoke. Pairs great with the plantation rum we got going right here. The Cameroon wrapper I think does pretty well with either bourbon whiskey, rum. So yeah, I really enjoy this. I don't smoke a lot of Arturo Fuente products outside of the Hemingways. That just seems kind of where I've gravitated to with them. But that's another name, another brand name that you'd be hard pressed to find a bad cigar.
Yeah.
In that.
Yep.
So if you haven't tried one, hit your brick and mortar, see what they have. Anything along that line. They have some Maduro versions too. They're kind of a limited run. It's only the top end of their rollers that are allowed to roll these, and it's a max of 100 cigars or less a day, 100 max. So the target number for the roller on these is 75 a day. So
That makes them pretty challenging to roll. Then, if that's
well,
what they're
yeah,
doing.
and that's the grading and the picking of that tobacco goes in. What goes into these is a lot of work too. And then these sit once they're rolled in cedar-lined rooms for 6 months before they're boxed and shipped out. So a little different process on these than some of the other stuff we've been smoking and talking about.
Okay. Well, let's get into one of the topics we wanted to talk about, the rebranding of Pichardo to Tiago.
Yes,
Oh, real quick, I just wanted to mention our mascot, Bucky. He's got himself a Pichardo.
Bucky, you need to hang on to that. That's going to be a collector's item once the name changes over.
Damn it, that means I can't steal it and smoke it.
Yeah, the beaver might not like that.
Yeah.
Might become an angry beaver. So, back to, as most of you, our listeners, will know, we mentioned this. I don't think we really got into a deep discussion on it. But at one point, we had our friend Ed Trevino, now one of the senior executives with Luciano Cigars, but back then he was repping for Ace Prime and Luciano together. They were a paired company. Something happened. I don't know what. It doesn't matter. But Luciano decided that he wanted to do his own production, his own distribution, and take the company on his own. He puts out great cigars like the Pichardo line. In this case, the Fiat Lux, which I was finally able to pick up a couple, and I'm going to get a couple more so we can smoke those and try those. Really good line. Well, the Pichardo is being changed. They are rebranding it to the Tiago line, and the logo is quite pretty. It still looks the same, but it's really, I think, a better design. And the name is after the co-founder and vice president of the company, Tiago Splinter. It's someone bail me out. I just lost my train of thought.
There we go. His caboose of thought went off the tracks.
It does that often anymore.
To be honest with you, I don't know a lot about the specifics of the Pichardo line. I've smoked quite a few of their cigars because Ed was nice enough to point us in a direction and help us get a few of those, and then we got quite a few of them. The last couple times we've seen them out and about in public, and it's a very good cigar, regardless of what the name says on the label.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's just strictly a name change,
there's
in all
no
honesty.
Reading the article, there's no manufacturing change, there's no blend change. It's literally a different label and a different design on the box. That's it from the cigar standpoint of it.
And you look at the one that Bucky's got there. His favorite happens to be the Pichardo Classico, which is also my favorite. I don't know about the two of you too, but it's the Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper over Nicaraguan binder and filler. So it not only hits Scott's palate with the Nicaraguan binder and filler, it hits my palate too, because one of my favorites is that Sumatra wrapper.
Yeah, no, that's a great cigar.
Yeah, it is.
And that you can roll that out with anything. You can have that, after a breakfast and coffee. Just drinking the coffee and smoking that. That's a great after dinner drink with a cocktail or glass of wine after dinner cigar. That'll pair well with anything because of how what tobaccos are used in that, how it's blended.
Yeah, all of them. The Classico, the Connecticut, the Habano.
The Maduro even.
The Maduro. Yeah, they're so interchangeable. And that's one of the reasons why I enjoy it. I mean, that's one of my go-tos whenever I'm over at TR.
It's become one of my, there are days, and every cigar smoker has them. You walk into your home humidor or the shops, and you're like, I really don't know what I want to smoke today. And that tends to be one that I gravitate to when I'm in that mood, even if they are $19.
Yeah, they're up there.
But it's California, and it's just good. I mean, Luciano definitely knows what he's doing, from his Dreamer, which is a Lancero, to the Fiat Lux, which we do need to try. And I think we should try it with that experiment that Ed was talking about, where we smoke our favorite cigar and the Fiat Lux, and you go back and forth between the two, because the Fiat Lux is almost a palate cleanser, so you re-enjoy the flavors of the other cigar that you're smoking.
You have my attention and my curiosity.
I'll have to go back to that episode and
when
the
he
full,
talks about that, that was
to see how we could do that.
That was interesting. I'd never heard anybody advocating for that before.
Exactly. We also got some news over at on the PCA front.
So,
leave it to our government.
Once again, the FDA is getting their hands in our premium tobacco. As most of you know, the PCA is a retail manufacturer side advocacy primarily. They also do have their civilian side that helps out the consumer. If you look down below here in the descriptions in either YouTube or the podcast platform, you will see a link to cigaraction.org. Camera Gorilla will be nice enough to put it down there for you. It gives you some sites to explore the PCA and see what you can do. It goes by state and even by the various bills by state that they're helping out. And get out there, help them in your home state, because you're going to need it. But the FDA, back to what we were talking about, they're getting involved again in cigar manufacturing. The premise of the PCA statement dated 14th of March of this year, they've completed their analysis of a rule that is proposed to dictate the practices of manufacture of how the cigars are manufactured, bringing it in line with the pharmaceutical industry. And my first comment, what the hell do we need to bring pharmaceutical manufacturing standards to a handcrafted artisan product?
Well, it's tobacco.
Well,
no shit.
The problem is it goes even farther than that. If you could just get behind that, which I 100% disagree with as well, you get down to farther down in this, and it gives you requirements for manufacturers to take appropriate measures to prevent contamination of tobacco products. Okay, number one, they're already doing that.
Right.
Number two, are you saying you want the stuff hermetically sealed now? What do you how far down that rabbit hole are they wanting these people to go? Because that's not really specified.
Mm-hmm.
So if this gets brought to fruition, there's no telling what that fruition is at this point. But the one that really got me is establishing traceability to account for all components or parts, ingredients, additives, and materials, as well as each batch of finished or bulk tobacco product to aid in investigation of non-conforming tobacco products.
So basically, this sounds like they are trying another roundabout way to get around the decision that was made last year of the FDA's overreached in their deeming regulations, and they can't do what they're doing. That's exactly what
That's
this
exactly
sounds like.
what it is. They don't have. If you go into that part and read the whole thing, which I was able to before my ADD went sideways, they are literally wanting to put as much controls and traceability on tobacco as they have on chemical components for making explosives. That's ridiculous.
Which is weird because I did a quick Google because it was something I heard the other day that I didn't realize and makes sense once I heard it. Most alcoholic beverages are not regulated by the FDA. They're regulated by ATF because it's not. If you look at most alcohol, they don't have nutritional information on it because it's not food or drug.
Right.
So why is the FDA? This is again a very newbie to cigars person's point of view. Why does this tobacco product suddenly fall into the FDA's category?
It shouldn't.
Yeah.
At all.
Well, I can take a wild stab at it, and I could be just incredibly wrong. But when you mention traceability, you know what that sounds like to me? Board of Equalization.
Yeah, tax money.
Tax money. It's all about tax money. This isn't about public health or safety. That's a load of bullshit. What this is, when you start talking traceability, tracing tobacco, taking accurate counts, and having some watchdog overlook, contamination, I think they could give two craps about that. I think it's about the money. I think it's about
the
BOE.
contamination part of it, they're looking for a way to fine them.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's how they make money, is on fines. But
Right.
just like Gorilla said, why is the FDA? Why does this fall under the FDA at all? If unless I'm a complete moron, I'm pretty sure that ATF stands for alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. Correct?
Correct.
You're correct, sir.
Why in the hell isn't this strictly an ATF?
And to be fair, we'd probably be just as annoyed if the ATF was trying to do some shit like this. But why are they trying to split the products between two different government
Well, Scott hit the nail.
two
on
different alphabet organizations?
Scott hit the nail on the head.
It's about money.
It's the getting the FDA involved gives them a credible, traceable money. It comes down to taxation.
Right.
And just say that up front. Don't put all this other bullshit in with it.
Exactly.
Just say, hey, we want to be able to count for every piece of every leaf so we can tax the shit out of you worse than we're already taxing the shit out of you. I still wouldn't like it, but I'd at least have a little more respect for the fact that this is what you're trying to do. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, so the other 49 states are going to get a taste of what California has to go through with our screwing on cigars and tobacco. So,
You're welcome.
yeah.
Well, and that it just gets to the point where it's ridiculous. I mean, much like our earlier discussion on the California gun roster, how many times does regulation have to be brought up and then disavowed by our court system before you finally get the freaking clue you ain't going to win and to go away? It's just a repeat over and over again. And it's the same BS in a different envelope, in a different manner. And much like the NRA for the firearms industry, thank God we have the PCA, not only for the retailers and the manufacturers, but for the consumer as well, because someone's got to advocate for us. Someone's got to pressure our elected officials, and that includes us. So if you guys aren't pressuring your elected officials politely without threatening them, why aren't you? It's your right to enjoy premium cigars.
Absolutely.
Well, what it comes down to is just if they throw this at the wall enough times, sooner or later it's going to stick.
I was just about to say that.
You know?
The goal is, okay, even if they fail this time, they're going to keep doing it and keep doing it because sooner or later, the retailers and consumers are going to catch us
not
asleep.
looking.
Yeah.
Or there'll be something else going on that is, coveting more of our attention, and they'll sneak that by. So,
Yeah, because I got to ask a dumb question. When is the last time someone got sick or fell out because their cigar was contaminated.
I can't recall anything like
I
that
never heard
recently.
anything like that.
Exactly. So it's kind of funny that they use this language trying to put it in the guise of public health.
Well, as we all know from the last several years, public health is the least of their worries.
Well, the eventuality is they want to basically ban tobacco products. It's as simple as that.
This great state is already trying to do that. As we talked about two episodes ago,
Yeah.
they want to ban anybody born after 2007 from being able to buy tobacco at all.
Right.
Last time I checked, when I turn 18 or 21, depending on your chosen state's definition, the government don't get a choice anymore. But, there again,
But that's another one of those things that they're going to keep running up the flagpole until they get enough, traction on it that it gets, that we're busy watching something else or dealing with something else that, or they throw something else at us that's so much more ridiculous that we're going to okay, we're going to let that tobacco thing slide to keep them from getting screwed on this.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing gets scary. But you got the other states as well dealing with this generational ban of tobacco products. It's basically they're trying to age it out. So when we all kick the bucket in however many years, shut up.
What?
Did
What,
you
you
say something there?
You think I'm actually going to swing at that one? I'm not that far behind you two.
Please, I have shoes older than you.
Because let's face it, honestly, what's the percentage, and we've gone through this, we probably beat a dead horse on this one, what's the percentage in the U.S. anyway of cigar smokers out of the
1%.
Exactly.
We are a small voice, but even small voices, if we bang the drum the loudest, as we've learned on several other occasions with other issues, we'll get listened to.
Yeah.
It's all about how annoying can you be.
But
And in my case, very well.
It's going to be up to the younger, the newer, younger cigar smokers to take the mantle. Because once we go, eventually, then it's going to be on them.
Well, as the youngest person in the room, I was going to mention, if somehow you're hearing this and you're not a cigar smoker, or you're of the, either way, cigar smoker, not cigar smoker, or of the younger generation, the reason they're going after premium tobacco is because it's 1% of 1%. It's the smallest group they can target. If it works on tobacco, recreational medical marijuana is all the shit now.
It won't be.
Cigarettes and cigars were all the shit 50 years ago. When we are your guys' age, are they going to start doing this to marijuana or psilocybin or all these other things that are...
Hell no. I can guarantee
you
you
think
won't.
so?
Hell no. You know why?
Money.
Tax money, baby. There's
Well,
oodles and oodles of money in that.
But there's oodles and oodles of tax money in tobacco products, too,
Exactly.
and they're still going after it.
Not as much as marijuana.
True.
So I would argue, even if you're not a cigar smoker, still, I agree with what Greg said. If you're an adult and you're not hurting anybody, who cares? So if you're a younger person, you're like, oh, the boomers and the Gen X with their premium tobacco, screw them.
Hey,
Scott might be right, but
maybe
he
you're
also might be wrong.
It may be your grape vape next, jackass. Help us
It
out.
already is in California.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
If you have a vice that you enjoy that doesn't hurt anyone else, maybe pay attention.
yeah.
Oh, no. We're going to start getting hate mail about secondary smoke. You know that's happening, right?
That's fine. Bring it on. At least somebody be talking to us. This brings up an interesting point as you were talking about the younger generation. Let's just take our local brick and mortar. I've been very surprised about the amount of young adults, shall we say, without being condescending, that are coming in and wanting to buy premium tobacco. That are interested in cigars. It's kind of good to see that because it is, in our case, is the next generation of the fight.
All right, let's take that a step further. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that we are seeing an increase in that? Because I've noticed that as well. Because in this state in particular, they have limited options for other things now.
I do think that's the case because someone who's got a nicotine habit, and mind you, the amount of nicotine in a cigar is fairly minimal, they're going to find another outlet. They're going to find another vice. It's just the way it is. That's human beings. So you can't do the vaping, then you're going to go to cigarettes or cigars. It just is the way it is.
If you can't do that, you're going to go to marijuana. If you can't do that, yeah.
Marijuana.
Maybe not.
The leap from cigars to marijuana, and I'm nobody's judge, believe me, but you're not going to see that kind of leap because there's a certain thing about cigars. We've talked about, the whole idea of cigar smoking. It's not, how should I say? It's a whole different experience altogether. It's very social. Marijuana, not so much. I mean, there's a little bit of social aspect to it. It's kind of a partying aspect.
So the joke puff pass doesn't really apply.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you've got certain segments of it, but as far as cigars, I mean, and you know this. It's one thing to sit on your balcony or outside your house or in your house if you're a lucky duck, to sit back and smoke a cigar. It is something else entirely to get a group of your friends together doing whatever activity may be it fishing, poker, or just hanging out and smoking a cigar. It's a whole different experience.
Yeah.
I think that's a future episode idea because that would be an interesting conversation to have with comparing the two.
Gorilla for the win.
Well, because I have buddies who smoke marijuana, and I hear them talk about the different strains or what they're picking up from the shop, and I'm like, damn, this sounds weirdly familiar, but just in a different aspect. So I know that may not be our audience's demographic, but it would be an interesting compare and contrast conversation.
No, it's something to talk about. I mean,
Yeah, it's no different than talking types of craft beers or types of alcohols. I mean, it's just everybody's got a preference, and it's nothing. As long as you're not forcing your preference on me, I don't really care what you're doing.
Right. Or, dare I say, hookahs. The whole, and I don't know if that's a big thing anymore, the whole hookah lounge thing.
It is more so outside of California anymore than in because, well, it remains to be seen. Hookah is one of the only things that has somewhat retained its viability away from being regulated because it can be considered a religious necessity and a cultural appropriation. So, it's one of those things where it's like that one might be around for a while, but I know that, a few years back I was constantly getting invited to, hey, you smoke cigars, you should come out and hang out at a hookah lounge with us. I'm like, can I smoke my cigar? And they're like, no. I'm like, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, I could never get into the hookah
bubble
thing.
pipe doesn't interest me.
But that's why. What was it, 4 or 5 episodes ago? Maybe not that long, but when you mentioned what trade show was it where they're now incorporating cigars, vape, hookah, kind of all the different smokables together?
That's the Total Product Expo.
There you go,
Total
TPE.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned it makes sense to kind of group them together because interests are aligned as far as regulation
we got all those different types need to look out for each other on this regulation because that's what they're going to try to do is divide it up and kill off each one of them individually. So, if the hookah guys think it's not important for the premium cigar industry to survive and vice versa, then we're both being foolish. I don't know what the hookah, lounge environment is up here in this part of the state. Because of the religious cultural thing, I think it's still viable. I know there's a couple of big ones still in Southern California in the area I grew up because of the diversity down there and the ethnic groups that do that as a religious practice or just as a cultural practice. There's still quite a few of those down there. When we were Googling the last couple of trips down to San Diego County looking for different lounges and stuff, where we could maybe stop by and check something out. A lot of stuff was coming up on that Google search. It was more of a hookah type lounge than a cigar,
cigar down.
Bucky, you got to hold on there, buddy.
There you go.
Maybe you should lay him down so it looks like he's smoking. No, too much.
No.
All right.
I'm waiting for that cease and desist letter.
Give it time.
I can't wait.
God bless you that you think we are popular enough that Bucky's drive-in gas station, mini mart, hair care, and tire center is paying attention to the fact that we got one of their stuffed animals on our table.
And barbecue pit sales.
Barbecue pit sales, yeah.
And craft stuff.
How did I forget that?
Well, yeah, see?
Jesus Christ.
But I think it's time to. It's been over a year since we talked to Josh or any of the other fine folks at the PCA. So I think it's time we reach out to them again and get one of them to join us.
Scare the shit out of us again with all the crap that's coming down the pipe at us. Yeah, that sounds like a hell of an idea.
Yeah, here's something that'll make you really mad.
Well,
I just got this image of like the cigar crowd. One guy representing the cigar crowd dressed up like the Monopoly man. You got the hookah guy. I don't know how they dress.
Careful.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm not.
You got Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
And then you got Cheech and Chong pulling up in the '74 Chevy van, where they pull over on the side of the road and take the company magnets off and throw the magnetic heart-shaped bubble window on it. Remember that? Where they pop the standard Chevy hubcaps off of it, and it's 100-spoke Dayton's underneath.
Yes.
I love that movie. Look at the gorilla shaking his head.
Gorilla, have you seen any of those?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm behind the curve.
My brother showed them to me.
Yeah.
So Gorilla,
Yes.
we're on a short edit this week for our show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
And this is not the only podcast I'm recording today.
no, I know you've got yours too. So it's been a while since we did too. What's going on with the Best Care Anywhere podcast?
The most recent episode that's come out today is what was it? One of the lesser favorite episodes of the series, Major Fred C. Dobbs, the one where Frank finds gold.
Oh, I love that.
It's
for me,
good,
I love
but
that one.
It's at the end of a line of really good episodes, so it's like, goddamn, we're back to hijinks a week. We just had an episode where we actually had a fan of the show on, Mike Jameson. He has his own podcast, kind of looking at cult classic movies. I believe their first episode was on Jesus Christ Superstar, so that's the caliber of movies they're talking about over there.
Interesting.
On their podcast. But he came on and joined us for Sticky Wicket, which is the episode where Hawkeye can't figure out why his patient's sick, and Frank basically dishes out what Hawkeye dishes to him. It's a really good episode.
It is.
And so, yeah, we're coming to the end of season 1, which is exciting and terrifying. We have to figure out what week we're recording the episode you want to appear on. That looks like it'll be about the end of May.
We'll figure that out. But, how does it feel, Beyond the Humidor has been going on into our 4th year now. What's your thought on a you're completing your first season? How's that feel?
It feels good. It much like you guys, it is and will continue to be just something I do with my friends. And if people listen to it, God bless, great, whatever. But it's getting to the point now where it's like, where are we going to be? What are some plans for a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now? Because unlike you guys, where you don't have a set time frame for this show's lifetime, if that makes sense, you can do it as long as you want. By the fact that we're doing a show that has a set number of episodes and seasons, it would be kind of disappointing to the audience if we decided, midway through season 5 to be like, man, we're not feeling this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more, it's not so much how long we've done it, it's how are we going to keep ourselves entertained and interested for the long haul? Because we've mentioned it a couple times privately that Jared, Ethan, and I are really. It comes up like we just had the anniversary for the 40th anniversary for the series finale a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, I can't wait to show you guys that episode, but that's 10 years away. So it's weird to know there's a lifespan, but it's both liberating and also a little intimidating. So
let me ask a dumb question. How many seasons of MASH were there?
11.
11. Holy. You guys are good.
And the
And
average.
it's about 24 episodes a season, so it's about a year per season if we're recording every 2 weeks.
Yeah, you got a while to worry about that.
Mm-hmm. And we're coming into season 2, which has got some great episodes, and we don't get a cash change, I don't think, until season 3. Mm-hmm. The first one begins, or season 4 initially. So there's a lot coming up for them.
Oh yeah,
and it's going to be entertaining.
I'm excited. Ethan and Jared are enjoying it. We're kind of on a tight because I'm leaving for a week-long trip, so we're
Speaking of that, how many cigars are you bringing for this week-long trip?
So I wanted to pose this when an opportunity came up. I'm going to take cigars. This trip is a trip that I have done since, like 2015, 2016. It started as the family that I go with, the Haas family. Their son is an Eagle Scout from our troop. His Eagle project was building 3 bridges on the Lost Coast Trail. His dad's a Caltrans bridge engineer. He's the Caltrans bridge engineer for the 80 corridor between Truckee and Elk Grove. He knows his shit. So he was the kind of the engineer for the project. We went out there. It's the Sinkyone State Wilderness out on the north coast above Fort Bragg. And we've been going for several years. I am a guest of the family on this trip. I know Ken would say that I am part of the trip. I consider myself a guest. It's their thing. They invite me to. So my question was to you guys, how do you go about being the only cigar smoker in a group of friends and friends of friends? What is there any etiquette you follow, or do you just walk up to the campfire like, fuck you, I'm on this trip too, I'm smoking a cigar? Like, where do you... Because here's how I'm going to approach it. I'm going to take cigars, and I'm going to probably ask Ken, like, hey, your kids are here, friends of yours are here. I don't know if everyone's okay with me smoking. If not, I'll go smoke over by my tent. Not a big deal.
That's actually the perfect way to deal with it.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
Another thing you might want to think about, and I can help you with that because I got a few in the humidor, is take something smaller ring gauge, shorter, more of a short story, lunch break type of thing. That way you can get through them a little faster, cigarette, stuff like that.
I was gonna hit up TR and pick up some other stuff, but
that way, you know, if you are doing that kind of isolated by yourself, you're not over there for 2 hours on a cigar, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not something you have to put down and then try to relight it 2 hours later or relight it the next night because that's shit.
Yeah,
you're throwing away, a decent cigar out of it. So,
but I also don't plan to be lighting one off the other.
No,
also,
but if you go with something that's a little smaller stick to begin with, you're still going to get that cigar experience in a little shorter amount of time, and or not discarding, half or more of a stick.
Yeah,
exactly.
You got a figurado in your future, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I think, by posing your question, I think you also show one of the differences in a cigar smoker versus a myriad of other things is we're somewhat conscious of our chosen hobby, and typically, not the asshole is, I'm going to do this anyway. It's, hey, do you guys mind? No, you don't? Okay, no big deal. Let's go have fun anyway. That's the difference in a cigar smoker and say others.
I agree with that. One of the accessories, and we picked up one from PCA last year, is like a little mini ashtray.
I've got the little, I don't know what the brand is. You gave me the little aluminum one.
Oh, that one's the bomb.
Sticks in your cup holder, your truck. I'm going to take that and a lighter cutter, all that jazz.
Yeah, that, those little, you got the little one, which...
Is it Cigar that makes them, or who?
Stinky, I think.
Well, I don't know what the brand name of the ashtray itself is, to be honest with you. The one you have is branded Cigar, but Cigar's not the manufacturer.
Oh, okay.
I have a larger version that's about the size of a Coke can, so it fits in your cup holder. Cup holder. I lost cup holder. The nice thing about the little one you have, Anthony, and the one I have in my truck is the lid is fully removable, and when you slide that lid back on, it is smoke tight. The one that I have in the other truck has a folding lid, and it's not smoke tight. And I've had that thing for years. It is beat up. It has gone camping. It has gone to trap shoot tournaments. It has gone, wrestling tournaments. It's gone everywhere. But those things are super cheap, and typically $15 or less. Most of your brick and mortars have them. You can find them online. I think Tommy Bahama's carrying them now. So yeah, they're a great little accessory.
Now, one we haven't mentioned since PCA, we've got to get her on the show. We had a little bit of a scheduling conflict last year. Easy Ash.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
oh, yeah.
Oh,
God,
yeah,
I
yeah,
forgot
yeah.
about that.
Oh, yeah. That's
You showed me those, and I'm like, those are the shit. The little foldable cardboard ones.
Yeah,
with the
genius.
foil lining so that it doesn't burn. Oh, those are brilliant.
Yeah, and not to plug them or anything, but they can be branded. They will brand them for you, so you can.
Oh.
If you got a brick and mortar and you're looking for something that it would be a cool giveaway, to slide in a bag or to include, say, if somebody bought 4 cigars or more or whatever your deal is. Yeah, I mean, it's a hell of a lot cheaper than giving even a cheap branded cigar lighter, or it's got to be right there in the price point, if not a little less than a book of matches.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah, I could easily imagine. Oh, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're on our way up to the mountains to fish. You got an ashtray? Actually, no, we don't know what we're going to do. Well, here you go.
Yeah,
and there you go.
It's a great product. If you guys go, it's a lot of scrolling, but if you go to our Facebook page, the video of our interview with Charles is up there, and I'll eventually get those over to you, Gorilla, so you can get them on YouTube. But it's a great product, and it's one that I was excited to talk to her. I still am.
Yeah.
It's one that I prop up to you periodically. Hey, we got to get a hold of her again.
Oh, yeah.
But Larry, I noticed since we're talking about accessories right now, you got your Cigar. We've all had those for about 6-7 months now. How's that going for you?
I like it. Again, this is kind of a repeat of the last time we talked about this. There's a couple of times I use this. Number one, if I'm going to be working on something, whether it's here at the shop, at home, where I'm using my hands, then I will typically put the Cigar on, because if not, I'm holding the cigar in my mouth and it gets soggy.
Yeah.
This case, when I clipped this Hemingway, it was a little bit drier than I expected, and I got a little bit of crack up by the cap. So I'm like, whoop, I know how to fix that. And you just stick it in the Cigar, and then there's no issue. You're not having to worry about fighting that if it starts to unravel or breaks apart a little bit, flakes a little bit. The Cigar holds that in place. Overall, I again, when I saw this thing, I was like, oh, here we go. Another tip. Because everything up until that point has been kind of somebody's making them in their garage, wood shop guy, and they're just goofy looking, and if I wanted to smoke a pipe, I'd be smoking a pipe, but this thing's super compact. I love this thing. I don't, like I said, I don't use it on every cigar by any stretch of the imagination, but it typically rides around in my front pocket. So if I need it, I got it,
Yeah, and I love mine. I do the same thing, and I use mine. It also comes up to it's a great conversation piece too, I think, because particularly in lounges in California don't really know what they are, and people will be like, "Hey, well, what's that?" I'm like, "Well, it's called a Cigar. It's one of the things that we found at PCA, and you can talk to people about it. Some people are iffy about it. Some people are like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it really is an accessory that I think works. Quick story on that. Not to throw anybody under the bus here, but I'm going to. John, our friends up at the Idaho Cigar Cartel up in the great state of Idaho at the Vault. When I was there last trip, he's got one of the accessories that they sell is a all aluminum LED lit holder that sits on the table. Okay. So he's going off about he can't get this damn thing. He gets it turned on, and then he can't figure out how to turn it off, and then he can't get it figured out how to turn back on anymore. And he's like, I need a damned instruction manual. And I'm like, okay, well, let me see this. I'm like, click, click. Oh, look, it's on. Click, click. Oh, it's off. John. 2 clicks on. 2 clicks off. Remember the old clap-on commercials, John?
Oh, wow. Hey, John, I don't know you, but I'm going to apologize on behalf of the podcast.
You met John at Rocky Mountain last year. He was hanging out with Tommy.
Oh, that cat. Yeah,
yes.
okay. Yeah,
John,
yeah.
we still love you anyway.
Yeah, my Cigar, I don't bring it out only because half the time I forget about it. I use it mostly at home. And then it's like, I don't want to lose this thing. This thing is beautiful. So it's kind of like, I don't want to just put it in my pocket because I'm notorious for losing shit.
Well,
Or
it's
it's
getting to
winding
the
up.
point, accessory-wise, where you got to have a damn suitcase. And I have the same travel humidor I've had for 15 years. It's the standard, all you guys have seen them. And then I know, Scott, you've brought a travel humidor out lately that we all got from Rocky Mountain. Well,
Yep.
not all of us. But
Bite me.
honestly, I'm to the point where I'm going to fish that out. I got it boxed up somewhere. I think it may be under my bar, but I got to start carrying that, not to put cigars in, but to carry all the other cigar related shit that I have. We got the Cigar. I've got lighters, a cutter. Now we got this pick set, and then I've got the little scissors thing that I got, and then there's a knife that Greg got us that is also a cutter. And,
You got to sharpen the hell out of that. Just let me tell you.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's dull.
but it's just the amount of cigar accessories as I have is starting to get ridiculous.
Yeah.
And ashtrays.
But hey,
Yeah.
by the way, on your humidors that you got from PCA, I got that leather one from Don Doroteo Cigars. So
That's a nice one. Now, see, I'm saying
ours
something.
was free.
and
See, I was gonna say something nice. That was very nice. I wasn't gonna be a hater.
no, I'm not being a hater either. We bullshit with each other all the time. It's just the nature of our friendship.
Hey, did we ever mention the fact on the podcast that we have another link, as it were, to Don Doroteo Cigars?
Oh, no, we didn't.
I don't think we did.
Gregory?
One of our good friends, or enemies, depends on how they want to look at it, Garrett Robinson, host of How About That Cigar, has paired up. Most of you know, I think, or don't, know that he has a cigar brokerage business. And he and Juan from Don Doroteo have hooked up. And Garrett is, I believe, one of the VPs for
He's a
Don
VP,
Doroteo.
yeah.
And he's working with him.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations, both you guys. That's I think that'll be a good match. I really like both those individuals, and look forward to seeing them again.
And hey, one of the things, guys, I want to tell you about Don
fire.
Doroteo, careful, Larry, is if you've heard us talk about them, you've seen one on the podcast. If you haven't, go back and look at the Don Doroteo episode. But his cigars are amazing. If they're not in your brick and mortar, or anything for that matter that we talk about that's not in your brick and mortar, get in that retailer's grill. Let them know you want to see this and see if they can bring it in for you.
Yep.
Get in
his
that
grill.
Yeah.
What'd you watch in Living Color this weekend?
Yeah, dog. That's
Word.
what's up.
Word.
Don't do that ever.
But it also goes to show the connections within the cigar community. It's a community is the wrong word. As a collective group, I'd say family is a better word for it, because
for sure, man. For
you
sure.
know there's no animosity between all the different houses.
I get the feeling we're not going to be the first podcast to review a new Don Doroteo cigar, though. Juan, yeah, calling you out, brother. You got to still throw one our way.
I still want that alcalde.
Yeah.
I want to try that one.
Mm-hmm.
Nope,
So
that'll
if
be
you're
good.
listening, Juan, hook us up.
Listening, I'll just send it to him when Anthony gets the link done.
There we go.
I like it.
By the way, Anthony, if our listeners want to look at that, look at the document we've been talking about with PCA, I also sent you the link for that. Please put
Yes,
that in the
I saw.
description as well. Thank you.
So before we go, I'm gonna tempt y'all with the second best part of this camping trip. Ken hunts.
What kind of elk are we
Okay,
having
wait.
for lunch?
Does he actually kill something? Or
Yes,
is it
he
like
I
probably
watched him
does.
butcher a whole elk on the island in his kitchen. Yes, he hunts better than Greg.
So a successful
I
hunter.
hunt better than Greg, and I don't hunt.
So, just from what we don't really we go camping, and by camping we mean we drive to the coast, unload the truck, and then eat for 5 days. That's basically what we're gonna do.
I like this plan.
I don't know what his cooler's always full of just whatever meats he has. I know the spaghetti I make, which is the recipe from The Godfather, is going to be one night. We're going to have jalapeno poppers that are somehow going to include some of his duck breast meat that he's bringing. Yeah.
See, I can shoot those.
There is also no red tide this year, so we are going to have fresh caught surf perch and hopefully mussels one night.
Oh,
along with the
nice.
assorted hors d'oeuvres and cheeses and all the stuff that people bring. So,
Horstovers?
yes, exactly.
You know, it sounds like we need to start thinking about upping our game when we go camping.
Yeah.
My game's already up.
Yeah, I was going to
so
say. Hey, buy a Blackstone, bitch.
Yeah.
Which, Scotty, off the air, because I don't want to tie us up too long on the podcast.
Yeah.
I've got a recipe for you on the Blackstone. And we'll come back. Gorilla, remind me, we'll come back to this next episode. When I tell Scott this, he is going to tell me I'm crazy and that there's no way that it's going to come out.
Does this involve bologna? Please tell me
No.
it doesn't.
No baloney.
Okay.
All right. We want to do a follow-up on the cigars, or are we ready to blow this pop stand?
Well, quick roundup on cigars. You know, why not? Gorilla.
Oh, the Superfly is fantastic. It like I said earlier, anything by Oscar, Rocky Patel, those two. I don't care what it is, it's going to be great, and the Superfly also fits that. The hell,
What in the hell is flying around?
fucking bird?
I don't know, man. A hummingbird just dive bombed me. All right, we got it. I batted it towards the gorilla. We're
All
good. I am at the very end of this Hemingway. If you're looking at this on YouTube, you can see it's right down to the top of the cigar, which does not matter. You can smoke the entire cigar with this thing, all the way until it's just completely ash in the cigar. I've done it. It's great. Another great product. Arturo Fuente makes a fantastic cigar of this Hemingway. Any of the sizes, either any of the vintage. Just if you've never tried one, please try one in whatever strength, power, capacity that you like, and I think you'll find that it's an excellent made cigar.
I'm hating right now because I don't have my cigar. Because I'm getting to the point where I'm going to start burning fingertips. I really
Larry's got a
love
paper clip around here somewhere.
There you go. But yeah, the Damaso, pick it up, especially if you're out of the state, because you're getting it considerably cheaper than we do. How about you, Greg?
This Trinidad Esperu Lancero, or Espiritu. Wow, that was a butcher there. I was expecting a lot of strength and a lot of power the whole way through, and as I'm down to the last, say, third, it's gotten a bit softer, but lost none of its richness. So I'm still getting the pepper, I'm still getting the cocoa and the coffee notes.
But just with a creamier undertone type of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The sharpness of black pepper has disappeared, and it's still there, but it's more of a white pepper now. It's just really pleasant. It's one that I'm sorry I only bought one. I think I need to go back over to the shop there downtown and get a couple of more and put them in my rotation, and it's just a great stick. As most of our listeners know, I prefer the Lancero. Some people don't, but the flavor's definitely there. It's something that Cuban Trinidads are hard to find, but these that are coming in from either the Dominican or South America, they've got to be just as good.
Oh, you can find Trinidad, the Cuban ones. You're just going to be paying an arm and a leg.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still kicking myself for when I had that box during Operation Cuban Liberation, and that was my first go at Trinidad, and that was fantastic. I wish I had more boxes.
See, the one I miss from that is the Cohiba Sublime.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I still have that
Jesus.
cigar box.
Me too. I got the one you gave me.
Yep.
Works as a great humidor in my office.
Yeah, it's an actual humidor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Those are fantastic cigars.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we ready to wind it out?
All
Send
right,
us out,
Gorilla,
Gorilla.
take me home. Well, as you can see, if you're watching YouTube, my cigar is getting to the nub and the rum is practically empty, so I think it's about that time. I want to thank our audience out there, and on behalf of all of us here, the Gorilla, top billing once again, Greg and Larry and myself, thank you for listening. Check us out at LumaCigarCartel.com. Like and share us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Don't be a stranger. Drop us a line and let us know you're out there. I'm Scott Robinson, and from all of us here at Beyond the Humidor, we look forward to chatting with you on the next podcast. But until then, stay healthy and safe. And as I always say, good smoke, good drink, and good life. Cheers, people.
Cheers.